Welcome to Chamber Chat, a partnership with the Winnipeg, Western Oregon University, and the Monmouth Independence Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center, featuring our chamber members so the community can get to know them better, both professionally and personally. Joining me today is Tony Jeffries, who is the manager of the Monmouth Fitness Club. Welcome, Tony.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
So you've been with the Monmouth Fitness Club for a number of years, and you've lived in this area for a number of years. So why Monmouth? Why the fitness club? Why did you choose this area?
Well, I came here for college 19 years ago, and then graduated with a degree. Back then they didn't have exercise science here. It was PE, non-teach, with a fitness management emphasis. And I worked at a club in Salem, and this club opened up, and they needed a fitness manager, and so there I was.
So you're a graduate of Western Oregon University?
Yes. Yep.
And you've been, and basically from the Salem Club, you came to Monmouth Fitness, and you've been here ever since?
Ever since. So yeah, I'll be 14 years at Monmouth Fitness Club in February.
All right. Now, were you originally from the Monmouth Independence area?
No, I actually grew up, born and raised in Tillamook. So not very far, just an hour and a half away.
All right, but you chose to come to Western Oregon, which then has now led you to a lifelong time of living in Monmouth, basically, or this area.
Yeah. Love it over here.
So since you've been around Polk County for a number of years, what would you say is one of the special features about this area that makes us unique?
I just love the community. There's so many people, they're friendly. You got Western, you've got the air park. We've just got a wide, diverse variety of people, and it's just a great community.
I would agree with that. I haven't been around quite as long as you, but I agree. I like the diversity and the just availability of things to do, places to go.
Yeah, lots to do.
Yes, and just the location in general. You know, we're not far from the coast. We're not far from the mountains. You're not far from Portland. If you want the bigger city, you can get down to Eugene. I mean, just the location itself is a nice.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I liked is you're an hour from everything.
Right. You know. And then meanwhile, here there's plenty to do if you don't want to drive that hour.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us a little bit. What exactly do you do with Monmouth Fitness Club?
Well, I've been the general manager there for 11 of the 14 years, and I oversee everything at the club, from hiring, firing, and getting promotions started, working with the chamber, working with this college and the high schools.
Now, Monmouth Fitness Club, you're located downtown Monmouth.
Yep.
You've got the parking behind the building, which I'll be honest, the first time I was like, wow, fitness club, where do the people park if it's just downtown? And I was like, oh, there's parking behind the building. Yeah. So that was my not knowing that when I first moved out. What all do you feature at the club?
We have aerobics classes, yoga, Zumba. We have a massage therapist on site. We have a daycare at our club. We have a women's only area. And then obviously our cardio equipment, our weight equipment, personal trainers. We've got a good club for our small size of community.
Right, and I know I've driven by and see people in there working. I'm like, I should probably go there. But now, as far as Monmouth Fitness Club, it's January. We're recording this. Happy New Year. We got some photos here of people, participating with some of your events. I'm guessing right now, New Year. A lot of people have their New Year's resolutions. Yes. Probably a little uptick in enrollment and people coming to the club. In your experience, how long does that typically, do people maintain that for the most part?
You lose about half of your January members within a year. And so that is my main goal is retention of members. A lot of fitness clubs, or at least get a rap that they just want to sell memberships. They really don't want you to come. They just want your money. Well, we want people to use the club. We are in this community. We want people to be healthy. So we run a bunch of programs. The one we're running right now is 21 days to a healthier you, because it takes 21 days to make a habit, so we want people to come in on a regular basis, at least for those first 21 days, to try to keep them there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just we want your money, come and give us some fees, but you actually want the healthiness of the community, which is nice.
To be healthy. Yeah.
So now, what would you say has been one of your greatest professional accomplishments?
Greatest professional accomplishments, I think, is getting a degree in the area that I am now working, and having been there for 14 years now. In the same company and same owner.
So you knew from a young age that you wanted the exercise path. That was important to you to study, to get the degree, to have the job. So exercise always has, even as a small child, was that important to you?
Small. I remember being in elementary school when you used to have to climb the rope, and I could never climb the rope, but they made you get in front of the class and try anyways. And from then on, yes, exercise has been very important. I've always played sports. Not very good at them, but I played a lot of sports. Very big in the outdoors. And in high school they said you need to find something to do that you love. And I loved the outdoors and I loved exercise. And so outdoors is my hobby and exercise is my work.
That's nice. So what would you say has been one of your greatest personal accomplishments?
Personal accomplishments, I know this is probably cliche and everybody says it, but it's my 2 kids. I have a daughter that's 3 named Paisley and a daughter that's 1.5 named Sadie.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 3 and 1.5. That's gotta be fun.
It's fun, not a lot of sleep, but it's fun.
So I'm assuming birthday parties and maybe any other holidays. 4th of July is really big, obviously in the Monmouth Independence area,
Yeah.
and so you get to take the girls out and.
They love. We have not missed a 4th of July. I haven't missed one in 14 years. They love the parade and all the candy that gets thrown out. The Halloween, downtown Halloween trick or treat deal has been great. We always go to that. Yeah.
All right, so 3 and 1.5. Very nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, as far as your chamber membership, Monmouth Fitness Club, y'all do a great job, particularly of using our reader board. Bert, who works for you, fabulous lady. She is very good at keeping messages posted to keep the public aware of what's happening at Monmouth Fitness, keep your name out there. What would you say has been some of the more important benefits of your chamber membership?
Yeah, the reader board's great. We love that aspect. We get advertised there. It just helps us get out in the community. Again, you guys do a lot of events, and we try to get into a lot of those with the new student barbecues and doing stuff with Hop and Heritage before. Just getting out in the community and meeting new businesses that come in. I know most of the people in town, but as new ones come in, it always keeps us informed on what's going on.
Right, and the new student feed you referenced. So every year, the Monmouth Business Association and the Monmouth Independence Chamber, we host the new student feed. So for the incoming freshmen, the transfer students who are coming into Western Oregon, it's a night where different businesses, if they want to, can sign up to be vendors, and that way they introduce themselves to the students. Yeah. And I think back in September of 15, something like 550 students came through or something. Yeah. It was just, it's a quick hour and a half, 2 hours that just goes through, and it's just a lot of fun to watch the students come through and to watch the businesses interact with them and help each other get to know who each one is.
Yeah. It's such a big advantage that the Chamber does and the MBA does, because when I came to school here in the first 2 years, I didn't know a quarter of the businesses. It wasn't part of the deal to promote downtown and what was going on, and now it is, and it's just such a big help to hey, we're here, we're local, a lot of us went to the school,
Yeah, if you look and if you look at downtown Monmouth as well as downtown Independence, there's a nice variety of businesses. You've got restaurants, you have retail, you have obviously Monmouth Fitness Club, and for the students who, for walking purposes, they can obviously access downtown Monmouth. You can walk to downtown Independence if you wanted to, but it lets students know what we have, which I think it is a nice event to put on every year, and it's a lot of fun. You can just watch it. It's a crazy quick 2 hours. Yeah, and then the students get some free food. So every interview that I get to do, I have my favorite question, which is, what is a skill or a hobby or an asset that you, or something, an interest that you have that would maybe surprise people?
Well, again, most people that know me know that I'm big in the outdoors, but we just recently moved to Newburgh and built a home on 6 acres, and I am now a gentleman farmer. I have a cow, chickens, pigs, turkeys, and goats.
So a gentleman farmer.
Yes, that's what my dad calls me. Yeah, we're not selling anything, but we do raise our own meat in our own garden and do a lot of our own canning and meat processing.
So you said 6 acres?
6 acres. Yeah.
And this house, if memory serves, you're building it kind of like...
Yeah, we did a partial build. Yeah, it was they called it an 80-20 build, so we had to do about 20% of the work, which was all the excavation, which I had never done before, which was fun. A lot of the outside plumbing, drain systems, the electrical and the pump house, all that stuff. So it was a neat deal. We just finished about a month ago.
All right, so a gentleman farmer, and does that make you a gentleman contractor as well?
I don't know about that. I probably won't do that again.
Well, congratulations on the house.
Thank you.
And for your girls to have that environment with your 6 acres, that's got to be a lot of fun too.
Yes, they love it, and I hope they will do 4-H and that type of stuff as they get older. That was kind of our hope.
Excellent. Well, Tony, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great chatting with you, and good luck in the new year and keeping the people returning to Monmouth Fitness Club.
That's the plan. Thank you.
Thanks. And welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining me now is Justin Glaze, who's the Education and Tutoring Specialist for Halo. Justin, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we're in the new year, fresh into January of 2016. Happy holidays. Hope everything went well for you.
You as well.
Thank you. Tell me a little bit about what you do for Halo. Let's start there.
So what we do is we offer free employment and educational services for emerging adults 16 to 24. So what I do specifically is I work with our students to build education plans. Sometimes that involves getting them involved with a forklift certification. Sometimes that means high school completion. So whether that's in high school or a GED.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you've been with Halo for a little while now, not years and years and years. So why Halo? Why did you choose that position? Why the Monmouth Independence community? Or Polk County, because you're also in Dallas now.
Yeah. Well, first off, Polk County is pretty near and dear to my heart. It's where I grew up, right off Salem-Dallas Highway. I have a lot of family in the area. And not only that, just the opportunity to provide mentorship to young adults in our community. I was pretty fortunate growing up. I had great coaches, great parents, great counselors, and so to be able to provide the same services that I received was something that was really appealing to me, and I'm happy to do it today. So.
Well, good. Sounds like it's a good fit for you then.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun, which is part of it. You know, you want to be able to wake up and love what you do and love going to work. So I'm happy to be able to say that one of the rare that can say that I love waking up and going to do what I do.
That's great. And how long have you been with Halo now?
So I'll be 3 years April 1st.
Okay. So
Yeah.
actually a little bit longer. I thought it was more of like that 2 to 2.5. So
Yeah.
all right, then congratulations.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you've born and raised basically Polk County. What would you say is one of the unique features about our area? What really makes us special here, do you think?
I would say location first is what is a great aspect of the area, but also the people. I think you'll see a lot of businesses that are not chains here
Right.
that I really enjoy. I like supporting local businesses. I think that's another unique aspect of Polk County, is that we have a lot of family-run businesses. We have a lot of people that use those services. And so I think a combination of the location and the people are what really are appealing to me and what keep me close.
I'll admit, when I first moved out, I was trying to learn a little bit about businesses in the areas before I started working with the chamber, and you definitely notice there are not a lot of the big box stores. There are some, of course, but there's not a lot. And so when you're trying to go shop for whatever item you need, it's not just running to whatever you know, perhaps from a previous place of living, and so that was really good to get to know businesses, because it's such a different feel going into the more of a smaller mom and pop business as opposed to the big box store. Nothing's wrong with the big boxes, but you definitely get a different feel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were just looking at some photos of Halo, and you had it was like a couch, your big green couch, like surfing down the road. What was
Right.
that? There you go.
Yeah. So the couch races were something that our executive director, Tammy McCammon, brought to our attention. It was for Capital City Theater, and it was just a way for the community to get together, and we used it as team building, but also a way to kind of get the Halo name out there. So that was a lot of fun. We'll have to do that again sometime. That couch was actually a substantial amount of work. It didn't come neon green. It didn't come with the flares, didn't come with the wheels, didn't come drivable.
Right.
So that was a lot of effort and work, not just on staff part, but participants of the program came out and really helped us do that. So it was a way for us to bond and get together and also have fun.
Well, good. So how many students typically do you have involved with the Halo program?
So we shoot to serve 130 participants in a program year, which is July 1st to June 30. And that may involve a lot of time with a participant. It may be a little less demanding, where we can help them with a resume and help them with interview skills and get them work ready. Other students are going to be need a little more time, which is great, and that's that's part of the fun.
Okay. So what would you say has been one of your greatest professional accomplishments so far?
I would say being able to work in this community is one of my greatest professional accomplishments. It's something that I wanted to do from growing up. I wanted to be an educational counselor, so it's something really close to what I'm doing now. And as I mentioned, I had great mentors and great coaches growing up, so to be able to do that now is an accomplishment for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what would you say has been one of your greatest personal accomplishments?
Personally, I would say graduating from college. I was the first person in my immediate family to be able to do that.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So that took some perseverance, and taking some time off to work full time to save money and be able to do it. And definitely, you encounter some of those classes that are more challenging, and being able to problem solve and persevere and communicate to pass those classes was a great accomplishment for me.
Yeah, my husband was the first in his immediate family to go to college as well, and like you, would work some and then go back and take some classes and then would work and whatnot. And I was fortunate enough, my sister and I were the first in our immediate family to graduate. She's older, so she gets the credit for being the first one to graduate from college. But we both, the same thing, put ourselves through school as well. And there is definitely a feeling of success when you do that.
Yeah.
Because you've really worked for it and you own it and it's yours.
Yeah.
So where'd you go to school?
Oregon State.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not too far.
Not too far. Yeah, I moved away for 4 years and then made the short trip back to Polk County.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Go Beavers.
You're allowed to say that even though we love Western.
Yes.
As we sit in their studio.
Yeah. That's right.
Now, one of the questions that I get asked that's always a favorite of mine is, what is a skill or a hobby or an interest that you have that might surprise people?
So being at Oregon State, they have a great plant ID program.
Okay.
So after I finished my psychology credits, I had some elective credits that I wanted to pursue, and I grew up working outside and working in agriculture, so that's also kind of near and dear to my heart. So it's actually plant ID and learning Latin binomials.
Wow.
And going out and taking photos and comparing genus species and learning those. So I get some interesting looks. Western Oregon University is a great place to do that because they have a great diversity of plants and they do a great job with their campus. So I will often get funny looks because I'll be down, really leaning into a plant and taking photos, or maybe just staring at a leaf to look at the venation or the leaf structure, and people will kind of, wonder if I'm doing okay, but I'm really just learning the plant, and so I would say that is a hobby that most people wouldn't pin me to.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, in the 4th and I believe 5th grades, both of them, I was raised in North Carolina. I don't know if this is something that Oregon students do or not, but I had to do leaf collections. Did you ever do leaf collections as a student?
Yes.
Okay, and you put your little notebook together and you had to
Yeah.
identify the leaves and whatnot. And I remember as a kid going around to just different neighborhoods and just walking through places like trying to find a leaf with my little book that I had and having to identify it and whatnot. I apparently did not find as much joy in that as what you had.
Right. Yeah.
Although, and then what was interesting is my college, which I actually went to a college about 45 minutes away from my hometown, and my college has everything on their campus is labeled in both English and Latin as to what the tree or the plant and everything is. I'm like, if I'd known that in the 4th grade, I could have had someone drive me over to Davidson College. I could have done my leaf collection in a matter of an hour.
Right.
But instead, I didn't know this and I had to go around and pick leaves and all.
Yeah.
It was fun, though. I have to admit, it was enjoyable actually trying to sort of a discovery, investigation, if you will, of trying to match what you think the tree was to the correct name. So
Yeah.
I can see that part.
Yeah, and there's so many genus species out there. It's one of those hobbies that the more you learn, the more you realize there's more out there to learn.
Right. So do you grow plants? Do you have a green thumb? Are you also a gardener?
I do, but my current living space doesn't allow me to
Okay.
do much. But I'm still able to utilize my parents' space and plant plants and get out there and get my hands dirty and get some fresh air. So.
Right. So things are going really well. You've got a job that you're obviously passionate about doing. You're working in your home county, giving back to the area that gave you so much, and you can enjoy on Western's campus exploring your hobbies. So
Exactly.
sounds great.
Yeah, everything I need or have is within a closed space. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Justin, for being here. I appreciate you joining me for Chamber
Yeah,
Chat.
thanks for having me.
Welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining me now is Sue Teal, who is the director of the Monmouth Senior Center. Sue, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we've talked a little bit previously, and I know you're not originally from Oregon, but you've lived in this community for a while. So how about you let me know, how did you get here? Why did how did you get to Polk County, and then why the Monmouth Senior Center for a job?
Well, my father was in the Strategic Air Command in the Air Force and spent 20 years, so we did a lot of traveling. And when he retired, he got a job at the state penitentiary and retired from there again. And so we came to this area, and I went to high school in Dallas, and I met my husband, and we have lived here all our lives except when he was in the Marine Corps. And as far as the senior center, it was kind of by happenstance that I got that job. I was not looking for a job. I was home raising children. I had worked for the state previously before I was married. And we just stayed in Polk County. Our family was here, and it was a good place to live, and our children got involved, and so we've just stayed here. And the senior center, like I said, it was by happenstance. I wasn't looking for a job, and a gentleman came in where my mother-in-law worked here in Monmouth, and he said, we need a director for the senior center. And she said, well, I think I know somebody that might work. And from there we went forward, and so.
And I believe you told me that you've been there now for 27 years?
Yes, it'll be 27 May 1st.
Wow, that's by a happenstance job. They're very fortunate, 27 years.
Yes, and one that I love so well. A lot of people work every day, but they don't love their job. And I love my job. I love working with seniors. They're a great group, and I just wouldn't want to do anything else.
Well, for 27 years, it sounds like it, So tell us a little bit about the Monmouth Senior Center. What all do you do there?
We do a lot of things. We try and help seniors have a place to come where they feel like they're at home. They can come and they can take classes. They can keep their brains active. They can keep their bodies active. We have a lot of the new technology classes that help out the other seniors, and we do a lot of traveling. So we do just about everything. We just recently started a karaoke, and that is going wonderfully. We have like 17 to 20 people every time we have it, and the gentleman that runs it, he not only does the karaoke, but he likes to dance with everybody. So the women are just loving it.
Now, do you ever sing karaoke?
I have.
Okay.
I have. My daughter comes and she sings, and we've got some that they don't come to the senior center for anything else. They just come and have a place to sing.
Now, do you have a favorite program or service that the senior center provides that you personally it's your favorite? One that really jumps out that because you personally like it maybe more than others?
Well, we have craft classes, card making, and that's something that I like to do as a hobby. And so I don't usually get to attend them, but I love having them. And we have our little group, that comes. We have new people that come, but there's kind of that core. And we meet other times, like on weekends, we'll go shopping at the hobby shops and things like that. So that's probably one of my favorites.
Okay. And I've been really impressed. I get the monthly press release that lists the upcoming events, services, programs, travel trips, and whatnot. And it really is a very active center. People, whether you're wanting to do a craft making, a card class, for example, or an iPad class, or if you want to travel somewhere, there really are a lot of opportunities. And it's not just the seniors. Obviously, it's the Monmouth Senior Center, but it's not just Monmouth residents. I mean, you get people from Independence, from Dallas, from Corvallis, from West Salem, coming over to the Monmouth Senior Center because you are so active and engaged. And I just think it's a great benefit for our community. What a nice asset to have,
Well, thank you. I will say, though, the reason that we can do what we do It's because our city supports us, and because we have people that are volunteers that are willing to give their talents to make a difference in other people's lives, and 99% of them are not paid. They do it just as a volunteer. And, we couldn't offer what we do without that.
Nice. And you have some big news. You've got an expansion coming up.
We do. They're supposed to be opening the bids, the seal bids today. It'll add about 2,500 square feet. It's going to give us new bathrooms for anybody that uses our center. Know that we have one for men and one for women. And when you have like an event, like our soup and pie sales that we serve about 200 people in a short amount of time. And sometimes that gets a pretty long line.
Sure.
So we're excited about the new bathrooms and our new classrooms that we'll be having, and then a new storage area.
And I started with the chamber in April of 2011, and remember hearing, I guess soon thereafter, a lot of the different fundraising efforts. So it was really a lot of grassroots too, as far as the volunteers and the people with the senior center who were rolling up the sleeves and doing a lot of the different fundraising efforts to get the money to do the expansion, which also I think says a lot about your center, and that you have the people who are willing to do all that effort and work to make this happen. You know?
And I will say, Marie Christensen and Diane Nordyke came forward a couple years ago, and they were in the office one day, and someone came in, and I was able to help them. They had just lost a spouse, and I just took them right into my office, and she said, I didn't realize everything that goes on here. And she said, I want to help do that fundraising. And they came forward, and they worked for about 1.5 years raising a lot of our money. And so we really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what would you say has been one of your own personal, one of your greatest professional accomplishments? We'll start with professional accomplishments.
Well, I would say that being able to do what I do, coming to the senior center, I didn't know what to expect. But when I came, I really felt like my goal for the senior center was to make everybody that comes in that building feel welcome and feel like they are important to someone. And we know as we all get older in our busy society, we don't have time like we used to. And I see so many older adults, they retire, their family's still working, they're very busy, and they don't have time for mom and dad. And they need something so they have their own life. And so the seniors, they come to the center, they feel like it's home, they just get involved, they come to classes, and it makes a huge difference. And for me, that has happened, and for me, that's my biggest accomplishment.
And that's wonderful, because you're right, as people get older, you need the cognitive interaction, you need the social interaction, you need to stay engaged, or it's very easy for people to become very solitary at their home and just sort of almost forgotten. So what would you say has been one of your greatest personal accomplishments?
Probably being married for 47 years.
It's amazing, 47 years.
And 3 wonderful children.
Wow, well, congratulations on that. You don't hear the number 47 very often. I've had a few people who've had, in a different length of time, but you definitely don't hear 47 very often, so well done.
Well, as a Christian, I'm always trying to forgive, and forgiveness is one of the biggest things you can do to keep anything going. And so,
and 47 years later, here you
47 years later.
3 kids.
Yes.
Now, I do get to ask this question every time, and it is definitely a favorite. What is a skill or a hobby or interest that you have that might surprise people?
Well, I will say that most people are surprised when I tell them that I'm a worship leader at my church and have been doing it for 30 years. And I enjoy that. My church time is very important to me, and I spend a lot of time at it, and I love it. And that's probably, I would say, one of the things people don't know about me.
So 30 years.
Yeah.
All right, so 47 years of marriage, 30 years as a worship leader. So you go, and 27 years at your job. You like longevity, I'm hearing.
I guess I do. I make a commitment and
right,
I
you stick to it.
Yeah.
That says a lot too about you. Well, so is it real quick? Is there anything coming up with the Senior Center we should know? We're filming this in the beginning of January, so is there anything coming up you want to?
Well, every year we have our Victorian tea,
Okay.
and we've just come up with a date, and it is the fourth Friday in April.
Okay.
We also have our semi-annual soup and pie, and that's always the third Thursday in March and October.
All right.
And we have, Trash and Treasure, and that's going to be in April. Yes, in April.
Okay,
And,
so
just some more fundraisers, and we have the Trash or Treasure is like a glorified garage sale, and it gives our seniors an opportunity. They're a little leery about having people come to their house
Sure.
and have a garage sale, and maybe they don't have a lot of items, so they can rent a table, and they can come and they can socialize while they're selling their wear, and
all right.
it's fun.
So people can keep an eye out for the press release with the upcoming events and on the city's website, and or they can call the senior center to find out specific dates if there's anything of interest or programs and services. So super. All right. Well, Sue, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you
welcome.
joining me and being part of Chamber Chat.
All right, thank you.